And we're rolling.
Hey everybody, welcome back to X is Per Show, your premier media response show. And today we are media responding to something that we only get to do once a year. It is Eurovision time. I'm Nico, and you guys can get it Nico Action, NICO.
And I'm TK. You can find me at TK Accidental.
And that makes me your producer, KEVO. You can find me at KEVO Really. Make sure to like, subscribe, and comment so we know what you want us to cover in the future. But for right now, all we are thinking about is Eurovision tonight. What an exciting finale it was.
Yeah, I mean, I can't even believe it. It is the end of a season of music TV staples, and I only get to be on my third year of it. But DK, this is your Euro Christmas.
Yeah, this is my 8th year.
Wow.
8th or 9th. And it's so funny because I love Eurovision for keeping me humble. I've always been somebody who was raised to go with the mentality that you always should feel like you don't know anything. Like you should never take your knowledge for granted. And I think I do just naturally a lot of the time. I think we all do. Eurovision is a great example of a thing that every year, the more I know about it, the less I feel like I know about it. And like the more things I forget that I learned. And you know, I was bitching about Ukraine during semifinals and just how bad the instrumentation was. And like I've checked this out my first year. I remember thinking it was such a weird thing about Eurovision. I just forgot because I think about all the rules that they're not playing the instruments, that's actually part of the rules is that you can't be playing the instruments. And so it wasn't like those guys faked it. It's a part of the whole thing. And yeah, there's just, you know, this year I've been really focused on just like how much I don't know about the character of so many of the countries, what the vibe is amongst the voting people. I know so little about the juries and how the juries vote and who's on the juries and why. And I love that. I love feeling like, you know, even after all this time, I have so many friends too who are very seasoned Eurovision people who talk about it like, you know, they're Lord John Marbury from The West Wing. Like,
oh my God,
they are the experts that are here to bridge the gap between you, the fool, and this thing that they know so much about. I am not a foreign diplomat in this country. I am a loving guest and bystander, but I know nothing, and I love knowing nothing because it also means that I get to be really surprised every year. I mean, we were together, so you know that I was quite literally at times rolling on the floor as we were doing jury results. And like, I don't do that for Drag Race. I mean, like at my most emotional, I didn't get that big with Drag Race, but like, even when I really didn't know what was going on in Drag Race or was really surprised by an elimination or by a win or something like that, I don't ever feel as completely lost in the woods and just surprised by results as I do with Eurovision.
And I really feel like that has a lot to do with the fact that we came into this with certain expectations and we got something else completely from the voting. It was surprising to me how many people I thought were going to place better, maybe get a few more votes. This was really surprising for me, just across the board.
Yeah, I will say the thing for me, and then you guys can, of course, make whatever choice you want. I am not going to speak too much about Israel being number 2. And that is in part a protest, lack of speech as a Jewish anti-Zionist. There is a lot that I just don't want to treat like it's normal. Like it's just another country that's there. It's a very problematic country that's there. And I'm very critical. And there's really no way to parse that when we're just trying to talk about music. And it's just a very, very complex issue, but I can tell you that I'm against genocide. And so I'm not really going to be talking about that. The other thing I'll say is I do think it's just incredibly odd because I just don't think the song was good this year. I think no matter what, there's a point at which you can be like, well, I can understand the just kind of groupthink of people if the song is really good, but That's really confusing to me. And in sort of just trying to dig a little bit, again, another thing that I don't know anything about with Eurovision is accusations of vote rigging and accusations of like trying to influence things. I don't know how that works with this competition, with the countries, with the judges, with the, you know, can you actually rig the public vote? I don't know any of that, but I have been seeing people talk about it. I don't know if that is something that like people just say because they can't think of any good reason why people would vote for a really bad song by a country that is in a very, very bad place right now.
Like on Drag Race, when they just say there's rigging because they want the world to stay. Yeah.
Right, exactly. And then there are other times where you're like, well, that person didn't do well in the lip sync, and like we all could see that, but they won. So it kind of was, you know. So there's a lot of complexity there, but I don't think there's any good way for me to talk about Israel in this competition. So I'm going to abstain from doing so. And again, anybody else can do whatever they like, but yeah, that just getting that one out of the way.
It really winds up being a bigger part of the picture because I saw a post that said that one of the things that was so important to remember is that when Eurovision kicked off, the number of countries that had not been at war for X amount of time versus the number of countries at war, the number of countries that have been involved in skirmishes involving each other's allies. At this point, it's not the same thing that it was. Yeah. And we're still kind of bannering like it is. Yeah. And so that makes it really difficult, even though I kept thinking she was going to draw a dick. Okay, let's talk about the craziest moment of the entire night. When she was like, Courage, baby lasagna, let's all make out.
No, she said, should we kiss? And then she smashed their heads together.
It was both hot and unsettling.
It was Hazel.
The meme of the season.
Hazel Bruderer. And also, real quick, I just, to take it back even to something a little more high concept, because when you said something earlier about, you said like a season of song listening, and then Kevo just said season. What something I realized about Eurovision that just, I so love is it is a self-guided season of reality TV performance art competition.
Yep.
The only real benchmark is the grand finale and like kind of the two semifinals. But you don't, a lot of people don't watch those or skip those. A lot of people don't watch the individual qualifiers for the country. Hello, gorgeous. And, there are some years where I have diligently watched as much as I possibly could. This year, and like in recent years, because as I talked about the last time we talked about Eurovision, I want to carry these songs into the summer. I don't want them dragging through my winter. So my self-direction sort of starts when it's nicer out and I start listening to the songs just in my earphones and not watching performances. And then I get to see performances and it changes my whole perspective. But it really is, it's self-guided reality TV. And I love that. That is, you guys just made me realize that like the self-guided nature of it over here is part of what makes it really fun.
And part of what makes it a little less fun for me is that the girls, because I'm thinking specifically.
The girl,
it's so tough because Malta, we came into this thinking she was going to be a slam dunk, the way people thought that Red Sebastian was going to be a slam dunk. And I don't know, I was pretty surprised. The huge voting questions aside, there were just some things where like, I cannot believe Essa Diva got like nothing. Hallucination got 2 from the audience vote. What the hell just happened? Kevo, you had loved that song from the beginning. I know Jojo did too. What the hell just happened?
I thought she was giving the finger because I was like, that would be in character, but that would be classless for them to do for the UK.
And I think illegal. I think against the rules in a big way.
I understood the Ale Alexander thing because I felt like a lot of that was spite. But this was so surprising. Did not deserve it. So many weird things going on with the UK. Shooty Gatwa not showing up. It's hard to feel bad for a big five, though.
Yeah, I think the only thing, the big thing with the UK this year was exactly kind of what you pointed to. I got it with Ollie Alexander in part because he is very, very famous, and that sort of goes against the spirit of Eurovision. And I never checked into what eccentricities of his contract situation meant that he was an applicable contestant, but it also really wasn't a good song. Like it was a really, really not compelling song. I think it would have been a perfectly fine song for us to hear at a gay club and just like grind on each other to, but it wasn't like I mean, so many of these songs are like songs that I want to hear at a gay club and like dance joyously to. That was just like kind of a weird little sexy, slimy, whatever. And I could understand how for the entire audience, it was so not compelling that it got 0 votes. This song, to me, I knew this was not going to win. I did not feel like this was going to win. I ultimately thought it probably should not even come close. But the idea that it got 0 from the public when it really was so fun and so joyous, and they just seemed lovely. I mean, maybe again, like I have no knowledge. Maybe they're horrible people, and everybody in Europe knows that, and we just don't, because we don't get their news, have their same cultural touchstones. Maybe there's been something with them. Who knows? Maybe there's something we missed, but I thought this was so lovely that I can't believe it didn't get 30 points. You know what I mean? Like I get not winning, not being top 10, whatever. I'm shocked that they didn't get a chunk of points from somebody.
0 feels crazy. I don't know that of all the entrants, if anyone was going to be getting 0, I wouldn't have thought it was them.
Yeah.
I would have thought it was Lithuania. No offense, Lithuania, but that song was like, it's one of those things because like, if I want to take some heavy drugs, fall down a flight of stairs, and then pass out in a garage on the floor, that's one thing. But if I'm looking to go grocery shopping and that's what happens, I'm very upset. And so this song coming in and having that chaotic level of disruption in the overly ornamental and often saccharine elements of this, it really felt so out of place. I remember our first year, there was a couple of like kind of black metal numbers, like out of like the Germany Ulvanias, and it didn't fit. It didn't fit because everything else was La Pupi Montessu, which I'm just being funny because, oh my God, you guys, Luxembourg got Luxemboarded. That was, and she was so sad. She was just out there pouting. I feel for her because, like, I don't like coming in second at anything, so I can't imagine coming in 600th. But like, this was just one of those situations where I am very aware that being on Eurovision at all is the win.
Yeah.
But some of these folks were definitely full on Kerriganing, and it was number one or nothing.
Well, and like a really good example is it felt like during semifinals, Norway was really pitchy, and because he was nervous because he might lose and then he wouldn't get to go to the grand finale. He had it just wasn't his strongest night. It's a great song and he's a good dancer and it was fun, but his semifinal performance was not his night. And then he's the first one up for grand final, and it was a fantastic performance. And he seemed so energetic and joyous and not nervous because, as you said, I think for a lot of people, the feeling is like, I just got to do it and I'm here, and whatever happens, happens. I know not everybody takes that attitude. Some people really want to win and that makes them nervous. Some people really want to win and that makes them even more passionate. But he was a great example of somebody. It really seemed like he was like, now that I'm here, this is the time to just do the song and perform it and not have nerves, because it's either only one person wins. Only one out of these 26 people are going to win. So you just kind of go for it. And I love that energy. There were a lot of people that had that, just like, this is the grand final, like, we're just here to perform the song and to have fun with it, and then whatever happens from there is whatever is going to happen. I think another really great example of that was Malta.
Yeah, I do think Malta got served papers, because she absolutely got fucking sued to pieces. This was such a travesty for me, because this song was like a celebration of excitement. It was so popular and it got so much conversation, so much coverage. And you had made a really great point to me earlier that might have even worked against the song.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I feel like Serving was a great track that got super disrespected, and I'm not sure why.
I mean, with judges, I know it makes sense. The judges tend to, they seem to tend to like softer song. I mean, like, Italy did so well with the judges.
What the hell? And the audience, what the double hell?
France did so well with the judges. Switzerland did these ballads, these really beautiful, moving songs.
Take my scars. Take my scars.
That's what I think every time. Oh, God, this fucking creepy clown, man. And what just really surprised me with Malta was, like, again, this is one of those things where I'm like, I know nothing. I don't know anything, because to all of us in this room, Serving is like Serving is a song that I will be listening to all summer. Serving is a song that I expect to hear at various prides. Like, this is a good pop song. And as I put on Blue Sky immediately, like, Mariana, come to America now. You could be touring by the end of the month, and people would have such a blast at that show. And it goes for so many people that did. Are you Essa Diva? Are you kidding me? Like, that as like a Latinx, a Central and North American Latinx jam would just absolutely destroy. Hallucination. Another just fantastic, again, like, just a song I can absolutely imagine hearing in the club. And oh my God, Erica, Ikome. I mean, are you like, these tracks are so iconic and amazing and huge, and if they were like sent to American audiences and marketed at American audiences, I really feel like they would all do super well. This one too, but we'll get into that later.
I mean, yeah, I think Erica is one of the best examples, because I think if you had a song by a woman that looked like Erica and it was just, I come, people would be like, this is it.
Yeah.
This is the song.
Yeah. And so, like, I'm looking at all those four songs as and I'm like, those are going to do well. Those are, I didn't necessarily think that, because I do know that, like, none of those songs are going to do well with the jury. So that's a bunch of points off. But I was like, but they're going to do really well in public points. So, they'll be top 10, right? Like, Malta will be top 10, definitely. And then it got so little. And I can't tell you why at all. I know nothing. I don't know anything about the European character such that I can explain it. But I do know that if it was like Americans voting, this would have had the gay vote. This would have had the gay vote. I just, yeah, I mean, and that's, again, like, it's not a bad thing, because it's none of my business. I'm not part of a country that is in the like European Broadcasting Alliance, and I just get to watch and be grateful that I get to hear this amazing music.
But, like, I'm so glad, Kevo, that you flashed to Gojo and TK. You even pivoted to it for a moment.
Yeah.
Because, like, I can't figure out, like, I mean, I understand that the video was pornographic. His little jumpsuit was pornographic. He is pornographic. But, like, I think Milkshake Man is actually a lot of fun, and it's not a lot more offensive than My Ding-a-ling. And this guy is just fucking porn on a stick. And one of the things that I kind of can't figure out what happened is how this, I feel, would have done better in the finals than did maybe Iceland. Iceland, where those I gave them a hard time, but I guess if I'm going to be really realistic, those young men, those ice climbers from Smash Bros, they
That's Smash Bros 2099.
Truly. they
Listen, give them credit for this. They have great energy and attitudes.
I was going to say they lost really well.
Yeah, they are so sweet and happy. Like this is from them being told they got very few votes.
Yeah.
And they're just
for on.
And they were just really sweet and happy, which, we didn't love the song. And that's fine. But they made it to the grand final.
And I didn't. So
yeah, well, and
Coffee didn't. So
Belgium didn't, Serbia didn't, and they were bitchy about it when the judge announced their.
Oh my God, Australia drinking a milkshake to get their points.
And then singing a solo.
Okay, so I've been making a really inappropriate and kind of gross joke backstage for a couple of days. I personally think that the contestant from Greece this year is one of the most unbelievably beautiful women I have ever seen in my life. And as a Greek man, it's just kind of programmed into my brain. I think Greek women are beautiful. And I have been joking that I would like to see a woman like her carry my child. And then this woman shows up pregnant, just to remind you that all Greeks ever think about is fucking. Just in case you weren't sure why we're like this.
They're a fertile people, everyone.
I want to say, I've now heard. I mean, I've been even trying to learn Astamata phonetically because I can still hear my Greek grandfather in my head every day. I can hear him in my head. It's a very specific thing, and I love so much of the identity of that song, even though that song itself isn't for me. I still don't love the song, but what I do love is how well everybody reacted to a song that I was maybe a little bored of as a person who is Greek and feel like I have heard that song 2,000 times. So it just kind of sounded to me like the background stuff that my grandpa would have on. And so but I am really happy that she did so well. I was shocked though. And TK, you were not.
No, I because Eurovision loves a ballad, and I do think something that I have observed is that juries love a ballad, period, and like a classic one for sure. The juries will love a song where it's a dude at a piano singing what would have been a standard in the 40s. Europe overall and the audiences love a ballad more than I do, but they tend to like when the ballad has something about it that is modern. And this song had a beat to it as it got into it. It sort of swelled and it had electronic influences, and it was a really big, moving song. In a way that, like, I understand why people were really moved by Maman, but Maman to me is not wildly different from Voila from a few years ago, and
it really had that same sort of like I'm screaming at you of Je t'aime.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And Astronomata had a very different character to me. It really had sort of like it felt much more Diva Plava Laguna. Fifth Element reference, children. And I think there's something really fun about that.
I really wanted to praise a lot of the fun of this season. This season songs.
Yes.
But like, I felt like a lot of the fun songs did not make it here, because what I thought was fun about my first couple of Eurovisions was that like there really were songs that were just like, I'm a toy out of the toy box, pick me up. And like they were always just kind of dumb, silly songs in there that made you kind of chuckle. But this year, a lot of the dumb, silly songs like Poison Cake
didn't
was
make it on.
so serious.
Yeah.
And didn't make it. And so like I kind of lost a little bit of the silly, a little bit of the fun, and a little bit of the magic with one big exception. Kevo's favorite. Bada Bada Bastu was just like one of those things that like there's a cultural reason it was successful. It's such a fun song. It's so exciting to hear. And I was glad that ultimately these cuties did pretty well. Kevo, I know it was your faves. How did you feel about your boys doing it?
I'm sad it didn't do better. I was kind of hoping for more. I didn't call it this year. That's sad. But, they did very well. And, this was my year for it to be the Rim Tim Taggy or the Karan, who it was great to see them fight off against each other. That was amazing. But, they still were amazingly popular, and it introduced me to their music. So I'm looking forward to exploring more of their art in the future.
I mean, they were number 4. I'm shocked that Estonia did as well as it did. I'm shocked that Sweden was not number 3.
Because the judges did not love Estonia. So
yeah, and
boost that.
I mentioned liking Estonia, and I got a lot of pushback being like, one, I don't like it. And I got the pushback of like, that wasn't pushback. It was people being like, I'm surprised you like it. I hate it. And then I got a lot of pushback talking about how Tommy Cash might be problematic. Nobody had receipts. And I was like, I'm just trying to get through the day. I don't want to, unless you like have something serious that we need to discuss so that I shouldn't be like talking about this person. I don't want to like hear rumors that he's a jerk.
Which is coming for people with stringy hair and mustaches.
Yeah, which is like kind of what I was getting. But like I was very surprised because I have not, with the exception of the people in this room who I talked to about this. And I guess we tend to be of similar minds on a lot of stuff, but I also, we're different enough that I'm surprised at some of the results that none of us picked up on at all. Even like, predictions versus like what we liked. Like until I didn't particularly like Barabata Boss 2. It grew on me, but I never liked it the way Kevo did. But then I did see how objectively I thought it was going to do well. And I saw it as a contender. It wouldn't have been the song that if they asked me what I wanted to be number 1, I would have picked. But by the end, I liked it a lot more. And I did see a real reason why it could have won. And so like we all have experiences like that we share with each other. We have like a common group of songs that we tend to like. Maybe they're not all of our first choice, but we all tend to like them a certain amount. But we all have differences, and like Nico's encyclopedic knowledge of music means that he notices things in songs that make them higher quality. That he can kind of talk us through, and it reminds me that like, oh, there's another thing you don't necessarily know about the technicality of the music, so this is a song that you should maybe eye as being more likely to win than I might have thought it was. And I get that from you a lot of the time, and so it just means that like I think that we don't present the worst picture ever of some thoughts, and yet we missed the group of us missed a lot this year and just had different opinions than other people that I talked to about Eurovision, and I was just so surprised by so many of them. Again, Milkshake Man comes to mind. We all thought it was. I just don't. None of us thought it would not be in the grand final.
Well, and like I love Jerem. Like Jerem is my favorite track this year, and I thought I was going to be in like a weird little minority that people were going to be like, oh, that song's cute or whatever. I could have never seen it coming in top 10. I was mind blown that it did so well. And then at the same time, I thought Baller was going to do a little better. I thought that Ishba was like, just like the fucking, that's the shit. And like, so evidently it was not and so I felt very sad.
And similarly, like I was 100% certain of because Portugal has done weird little soft boy man acoustic music, and won with it. It's just kind of their like what they do. So I was like, of the two, the audience is going to like Portugal, and everybody's going to agree that this weird clown man is a horrifying nightmare creature and should be sent back to Florence or Venice or Napa or wherever. I'm just naming places in Italy because I didn't
the underneath.
Yeah, exactly. And instead, Italy does so insanely well and Portugal does terrible. And again, I love it because there's something I do not know. There's a reason why this happened, and I could not begin to explain it to you because I am not an expert, and I can still be surprised. I love being wrong here. I really hope I get a chance to find out more about why this happened and what I don't know.
Do you know what kind of felt, I don't know, maybe a little bit rude, was specifically Switzerland getting 0 points?
Yeah.
I don't know. That was
Yeah.
another one where 0 points just, and again, especially it was doing so well.
Yeah.
This is one of the ones that pre-final I was considering as a contender to include on the cover because people were responding to it so well. And then here, no popular vote. 0, so surprising.
Well, you know, I mean, France only got 50. That's the other big ballad that, well, I mean, and then, yeah.
And then Berman Lamy did so well. Like, I mean, for what it is, it did so well, man. That thing was just like, that was a Guillermo del Toro porn film come to life, set to the idea of the music, as you pointed out, from Yellow Jackets.
Yeah, I mean, and it did better than I thought it was going to do, but I was very happy with the jury numbers. I really wish it had done better with the public. I just wish people had embraced it more because it was unique among this crop of, and let's say the full 37, among the full 37 songs. It was unique and it was beautiful and it was weird. And they had a similar joy and energy about their performance that the UK did. And it just made me so happy. Like, the songs were so different, but these women were so happy to be on stage singing their song to you. And
also fitting in a record number of lyrics per line. I know I do not know Lithuanian, but I mean, the fact that I did feel like every line really syllabically was like the fact that they were able to control that many syllables while moving the way they moved with the vocals they used with those stretching harmonies, it was really remarkable.
And again, it's probably cultural and linguistics too, and like just stuff we don't know about. Which again, part of the reason I come here, part of the reason I'm so psyched. And of course, another reason is every year I just can't wait to see who they have hosting it and what the hell is going to go on. Hazel Bruder, I think that Bruger. What a lady. What can you say? If you watched Eurovision and you make costumes and you want to make a boy version of Hazel's second semifinal look, please call me. I'll think about it every day for the rest of my life.
With the CDs on it, yeah.
With the CDs, the holographic dress that she then crowd surfed in and awkwardly did interviews. What a character. I'm obsessed.
You know, when she was like, I still don't know how the voting works. I just want to be like, guys, this is a little too everymanning it. You guys have got to peel it back because I get how the voting works. The other person who I guess I like JJ. I like Wasted Love. I would not have clocked it as the only song that could defeat Israel's popular vote. First of all, when Tommy Cash came in 1 vote shy, I was like, rigged. And then when ultimately, you know, JJ blasted past with Wasted Love. I don't think Wasted Love is bad. I don't think JJ's performance is bad. And certainly JJ can outsing me any day of the week. This was not exciting for me. The music video is dramatic. And I think part of what I don't like about the song is if you were to put the song an octave lower, it would just be kind of boring. And so what makes it so powerful is that it's incredibly high, which then makes it not a powerful song as much as a great performance of an okay song. And I don't know, it would not have been my winner, even though, like, I mean, I was here for Baller and Jerem in the first place.
Yeah, I mean, I felt the same way. Something we did notice is he has one climactic note to reach, and during semifinals he missed it in pretty much entirely, and then during the grand final he didn't miss it, but it wasn't great. It maybe was just this side of good. It like clawed,
it was there.
It was off the cliff and it clawed up onto good, but it didn't just like land on good. And it sounds related to the code, Nemo's winner from the past year. But somebody else said this is somebody else's observation, but it's true. The code is like basically a dance song with operatic elements that like pulls in all of this stuff, but is essentially like a hard going dance song. This is like a show number, like an opera number that at the very last 30 seconds turns into a dance song, and that's the part that he's not really performing. Like, it's a sample of his voice for a big chunk of it, and he is just kind of headbanging there, and it's not enough to get into the song. And before that, so it's just, I don't know, I was shocked that it did this well. I'm shocked that it won. I'm very happy that Queer Person won. I'm very happy that the second place winner did not win. There's a lot I think I just didn't understand about this one either, but I'm so happy for Jay, and he's so talented. Like, there's nothing wrong with missing a really difficult note. And that's not like, and therefore you don't deserve anything. It's more just, I heard that and I was like, oh, like this great kid who probably is going to be in the top 10 and deserves that, probably, you know, is not gonna win. And so it was just a surprise when he did win, but very, very talented.
I also want to be open about the fact that I'm not sure why some of these no pointsers were so no pointsy.
Yeah.
I get that, you know, San Marino was not for everybody. But that is like the most Jersey headbang, fist pump kind of song. Armenia, like, why was it here? Like, if Survivor was not going to do well, who voted for it? This was just so weird, and there were so many songs that I would have rather have seen made it than some of the ones that did. And then ultimately, I thought that some of the staging changes from semifinals to here improved some songs. They didn't improve some songs. But, like, I found this was not quite as even as last year.
Talk to me more about what you mean by that.
Last year felt like, even though there were some real standouts, for the most part, I didn't kind of go, ugh, all right, I'm going to go use the bathroom during this one. Whereas this year, there were some that I was like, I cannot miss that. And then a few more that I was kind of like, oh, okay. I didn't love Switzerland. I would have been fine missing Wasted Love. I didn't love Maman. We literally did.
We did leave for a couple of tracks and go grill steaks.
Yeah, and I would not have wanted to do that last year.
Yeah, I totally hear you. Yeah, I see what you mean. which is weird too, because I don't know, like the tracks, even like tracks like Serving that were standouts to me, I just felt like I knew they weren't going to be standouts for Eurovision. So like while Serving, again, probably going to be a song of the summer for me, it's probably going to go really high up on some lists and get a lot of play. Like it's playing next to, you know, like Lights, Charlie XCX, you know, it's playing next to Pop Queens. And there was not a lot this year that I was like, this is the song that's going to take Eurovision by storm. It was either songs that I was like, these are taking me by storm, or songs that I was like, I can see why this will do well, but it's not for me, or tracks that I was like, this is boring and I don't want to be here for it.
So, you know, I would love to get everybody's kind of like big takeaways. My big takeaway was I never thought that Jerem would do well, and then it did. Yeah. And I was so happy. Jerem had been my big song for the year. It had been my favorite. And one of the things that made it my favorite was that there was so much history to that song. That song was so about what those people were going through and what the state of Albania is in. And that's what made that song powerful for me. At the same time, Sweden delivered with Bara Bara Bastu, a song that just kind of enjoyed their culture. I did love Serving, but I'm not sure how it did the same thing for Malta. And that's where I wonder if we saw some of the voting reflect some of the identities of the needs of the people.
People saying basically, I didn't get anything about Malta from your song. Yeah. So it was good, but like this is part of this is like to show the character of your. Yeah, I hear that. Yeah, I mean, like, you know, like I said, one of my big takeaways was like there were songs that I was like, these are pop songs for the world. Again, Malta, Spain, Finland, Denmark. These were all tracks where I was like, all I want to do is dance to these in a club, no matter what. And all of them, like, actually, that's not true. All of them. Finland, I actually was really like, this could take it. This could be the one. I thought it would do.
Sorry, I just see hello from Greece, and I'm like, hey, I'm Nico.
Hello.
What's
from
up?
Greece.
Big Greece guy here, big Greek boy. Hey, so excited. Good job, Greece.
And then, you know, there were tracks like Greece. Greece is a great example of a track that I did think was going to do well. I did enjoy. I never liked the ballad. So for me personally, it wasn't like, oh, this is just game changing. But I really love it. It's beautiful. They just don't wind up being the tracks that I'm like, oh, I'm all over this one. And then, you know, you had tracks like Latvia that just enchanted me. And you know, made me think differently about music. So this was a really cool mixed bag. It was not the mixed bag that I was expecting, and it was a mixed bag where you really took some unique good with some surprisingly silly bad, but you enjoyed it no matter what.
And, you know, I love that you said some surprisingly silly bad, because I didn't get the silly bad that I wanted. I know we brought it up a few times, but Milkshake Man was so good. And not having him here, not having that presence, I missed out on that. I actually kind of felt like I didn't miss Strobe Lights and Shh, because it was a bit of a problem for me. That they both had the same sort of like out of nowhere at the end of the chorus. It just felt a little too much, and not having a whole lot of like screaming at me, whether it was, you know, the unexpected metal or kind of like out of nowhere high notes, really helped. I think JJ got away with it because they were lovely high notes, but I even think we saw a bit of a reflection of like less love for Esa Diva, which had maybe a little bit more like ha 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 than most other songs. So there was a little bit of like, maybe we're not into the screaming this year, because it also ended with that at the end of every chorus run. Oh no, that wasn't Essa Diva. That was
no, you're talking about Poland.
Poland. Who,
Yeah.
I don't know that Poland. I don't know that I would have called Poland placement. I was pretty surprised.
Yeah, 14th. I mean, it's a good song.
That's where I thought it would have placed higher, but I think it might have been like the scream was a little primal, and also there's that minute where she just hangs from some ropes and then comes right back down and does nothing, and that's just sort of like she's just gravitying.
And they kept using that clip during the cobbled together, here's all the finalists. They kept using the clip of her just hanging from the ropes and not singing. So, like, that was a weird choice.
Yeah.
Yes, Germany did deserve to be placed higher, Greece. Ba la la la. I'm just saying, it was is the bomb.
That was, it was really good. So I was not surprised Germany didn't place higher, only because, again, it just seems like there is a bias against songs that could be successful pop songs if they weren't on Eurovision, and like Germany's track is one of the ones. Again, it's on my list of tracks that I just like want to listen to and want to dance to. Poland, I will say, maybe suffered from being slightly less of a standout in just standout divas all over the place. Again, I mean, I'll list them all. It's Mariana Conte, Erika Vickman, Melody, Sissel, like all of these insanely powerful women with powerful voices doing powerful songs. Those I'm just naming, like where it's, even Claudia in Astero Mata, like that's a slower track, but like it maybe was a little difficult to stand out with just like cunty woman after cunty woman doing cunty track. And so I also sort of wonder, I don't know I know nothing about Polish character, but I know dragons aren't real. And I know that a lot of people do fantastic elements to their Eurovision performances. We've seen pirates, we've seen vampires. The dragonography was out of nowhere.
This felt very Come Ride Our Dragons.
Yeah, which I'm going to tell you right now, I don't believe you have. So what part of culture is that? And why were there so many in your track? Maybe it's a song about dragons. I don't know. Also, I was watching on the official YouTube. Please start including translations for everybody.
Yeah. One of the things that maybe bothered me a little bit was that Italy got this sort of like, oh, he's a poet. And I want to be like, that's because you could all read it. I bet if you guys could read whatever, Astroglide means, you would be all about that one too. So,
dang right.
I had an amazing time. I love this. I can't wait to start up again as soon as possible. This is one of the most fun things that we do every year. I love getting to celebrate these songs. Like I said, my biggies were Germ and Baller and Serving. I'm sure I like some other stuff too, but like those are gonna be the ones that I really take with me, I think. I'm looking forward to starting up next year already again. Kevo, how about you?
I mostly to be silly, but I do kind of want to say I think Sweden shot their shot a little bit by saying a couple of days ago they don't want to host again next year. They just hosted last year, so they don't want to host again. I think that actually kind of tanked their vote a little bit, but that's fine. Maybe the boys will be able to be the ones that perform it next year's, like we got to have Rim Tim Tagi and Cha Cha this year. Looking forward to Austria. Vienna, lovely city, probably is where it's going to be. And it is going to be the 70th. This year was the 69th Tihi. And next year will be the platinum anniversary of Eurovision. And platinum music, it's just perfect. So we're going to hopefully do a lot of cool stuff next year too. And I'm looking forward to it already, like you said.
And Kevo, until then, where can everybody find you online?
Let me bring up banner, and you can find me on the socials at KEVO Really. That's KEVO REALLY.
TK, as the man who got us into Eurovision, as the guy who has turned this into a tradition, what was your big takeaways? Like you can even go milkshake man. I don't care. And where can everybody find you?
I do think my takeaways are, as I said, the tracks that like I think could be non-Eurovision tracks and do really well. And again, that's going to be serving. I would both consider this one and not consider this one that, which is Germ. Just an amazing song. Feels very Eurovision, and yet I think I would think it was so cool if I'd heard it outside of Eurovision. I just can't imagine a context where that would happen. Whereas a song like Serving, I actually feel like I could just hear in the club. Hallucination, Ikome, they didn't make it, but I really enjoyed Like a Party. Again, I love dogs, so it's very important to me. Baller Essa Diva. I'm walking away with all of those on a mix that I expect to run some of the fastest miles of my summer to. And I'm hoping that I dance some of my knee twistingest song, nights to. They're really great. And I do want Mariana Conte to hop on a plane tonight and get to America and get in the studio with like a Julia Michaels, some talented songwriters and producers, not Phineas, and make something really fun that we can all dance to. Not that Phineas isn't talented, just don't work with Phineas. Anyway, you can find me. Yeah, work with Phineas and Ferb instead, not weird that Phineas. You can find me and we can talk about this on the socials at TK Accidental. NICO, you make music too, so I especially always want to know what you think about these music makers and where everybody can find you and your music.
You guys can find me over at NICO Action, NICO-ACTION, and NICO Action Music, NICO-ACTION-MUSIC. You guys have heard my music running in the background all day. Love that you guys were checking it out. Please feel free to check it out on SoundCloud, YouTube Music, and more. Like I said, my favorites already, but my real favorites are these two guys over here. Have such a great time with them. They're the real jams and the real bops that we made along the way. But if you guys want to check out another jam, another bop, a real winner, you guys should check out our awesome coverage of Drag Race tomorrow night. Same bat time, same bat channel. Well, not the same time, but same bat channel. Come check us out 6 p.m. EST over on our channel to talk some Drag Race, because those queens know how to bring a number down too. And we cannot wait to come back and see you guys. So check us out on HTML. That's Husband Talking More or Less. It's one of our podcast feeds. X is for show, X is for podcast, and more. We think you guys are incredible. We would love you guys like, comment, and subscribe, but you guys should also do 3 things for yourselves. Number 1, please stay safe. It's a crazy world out there. Number 2, please be brave, because we love who you are. But number 3, evolve daily. Who you were yesterday, amazing. Who you are today, so great. But who you are tomorrow, that's the real winner of Eurovision. So until Eurovision 2026, where you win, we'll see you.